Hello and welcome to Miniature Adventures. I'm Big Lee, and today I'm going to do another update from the operations room. So when I did an update earlier in the month, it seemed to go down very well, so obviously I'm going to do it again. Actually, it's been a very busy month. I've actually been doing quite a lot, and I've got some holiday coming up, and I'm looking forward to having a little bit, taking it down a notch, because I am a bit worn out, to be honest. A lot of work, work as well as hobby work. So following on from my time at Joy of Six, I got chatting to some guys there and was looking at a game and was very intrigued by a set of rules called All Hell Let Loose. I've just received my copy in the last day or so, and I basically I'm going to take these away on holiday so I can have a look at them. They're designed specifically for 6mm World War II wargaming, you know, brigade level, that sort of thing. But very interesting. It's for late war, so it doesn't quite cover the miniatures that I've got, but I'm sure someone out there will have done an adaptation for early war and mid-war North Africa, which is most of the collection that I've got. So I'll be looking and have a little read of the rules first. I want to try and compare them against O Group, because another set of rules that I bought a while back and I haven't really had a chance to analyse, and I just want to have a look at the comparisons of the two and how they might work, so I can try and decide how I'm going to proceed, because I do want to get some of my old 6mm World War II stuff back out at some point. It's not a high priority because I've got loads of other projects on the go as usual, but the Joy of Six show just sort of whet my appetite for the idea of getting some of my old World War II stuff out again, so hence that set of rules that I bought. In the last video I mentioned I was going to be attending a D-Day dinner and auction to raise money for D-Day veterans, and actually a slight amendment to what I was saying before. I thought the money was going to the Normandy Veterans Association, actually, or to the Normandy Spirit Normandy Trust, but actually the money was going towards the new the Normandy Memorial in Versailles in France. They're actually trying to raise money to build an education centre there, which I think is a very excellent idea. I don't yet quite know how much money was raised during the auction, but there was some serious money being spent, and I'm not somebody with serious money, but even I managed to come away with a small item and made a couple of donations. So it was a very enjoyable evening in the company of some absolute heroes. Yeah, a really enjoyable evening. There was music, there was the TV presenter Nicholas Witchell was there because he's part of the charity, gave a very interesting speech about how the memorial came about, and indeed the veteran whose idea it was for that particular memorial was there, along with several others, some of whom I know because I've met before, and all of them just incredible men who love to share their stories. And you know what, sometimes you're sitting there chatting away to them and they're telling you something and you've never heard this story before. You know, on one occasion, I remember on one memorable occasion, I was chatting to a veteran who was telling me a story about how he was serving in Cromwell tanks, I think it was, in Normandy, and he's describing this scenario, and after he'd finished, you know, long rambling conversation telling me his story, and his wife leant over and said, "Been married 60 years and he's never told me that." So, you know, having conversations with these guys is very important, because they've got stories, they've got real life accounts of the period that maybe they've never revealed, and now it's time to try and coax that information out of them. So a very enjoyable evening, get to put my posh togs on and spend a little money for a very good cause. Now, on a completely different note, as many of you all know, I play D&D. My gaming group consists mostly of friends that I've known since school, and for the last 2 years we've been playing Ravenloft, which is a sort of like a fantasy horror setting for D&D. We're coming close to the conclusion of this, and it's been a very enjoyable and an excellent game the other night. You know, sort of like a climactic moment with the arch villain who thwarts us at the very end, so a really enjoyable game. And as I say, I think we're about to start the final chapter of our Ravenloft campaign. We played some of these games donkeys years ago, and we're playing them again, and you know what, it's bringing up some really good memories of the groups that we were with, and it's always great to see my mates that way. And you know, we've been keeping in touch with Zoom. It's revived our hobby, Zoom, because we've all scattered to the four winds, we all live in different places, but a really enjoyable part of an alternative side of my gaming life. And then a couple of weeks ago, I took part in a Wars of the Roses campaign down the Shed of War, the Battle of Whetstone. It was a fictional encounter that occurred the day before the Battle of Barnet, I believe, is the way that it was worded. It took place in the Shed of War on a very hot day. 3 of us took part with Stuart, the postie, as our umpire. And I managed to pull off a win with my colleague Stephen, and yeah, very good game. I'm always going to enjoy a win. There was a bit of treachery going on with the rules, and poor old Ray had a hard time fighting against us, but a great game in 28mm, and he's got a nice big collection of stuff for the Wars of the Roses. I seem to be on a bit of a winning streak. That's the 4th game of the Wars of the Roses I've played and been on the winning side, and because it's inspiring me, because I am very, very tempted to go down the 6mm Wars of the Roses route, and I've been buying a load of books. I've got some books that are coming hopefully in the next few days, with the idea of taking them away on holiday with me and maybe getting a chance to have a look and have a read of them while I'm away on holiday in a few weeks' time. And I'm trying to pretend that I'm considering going down this particular route, but who am I kidding? I'm going to end up buying these armies eventually. I know I am, but I'm taking my time about it. It's a potential project for the next painting challenge, which of course will start at the end of December, and you know, I could quite easily get 2 armies, you know, the Lancastrians and the Yorkists, painted up during the course of the painting challenge, which is one of the reasons I love the painting challenge. It really galvanises you to get big projects finished, get stuff done in a very quick space of time. You know, the challenge only lasts 3 months, and I could probably get all of that stuff done. So as I say, I'm pretending, going through the pretense of saying I'm considering it, but let's face it, I'm going to end up doing it eventually. Now, in the last video I mentioned that the Rejects were planning on going a sale week in October, but it clashed with my wife's birthday, and I was a little bit worried about that. And actually, chatting to the guys, we've all decided we're going to try and do the other partisan, which is the weekend before, so that sort of saves me having to tell the wife that I was going out on her birthday, but also is a great show. So you know, we really enjoyed going to Partisan earlier in the year, so we look forward to going and doing the other Partisan in October. So hopefully I'll see some of you there. And there's even a possibility I may be able to combine it with something else, see a friend that lives up that way. Yet to be agreed and finalised, but there's a possibility I could turn it into a long weekender with me and my wife. So now on to a channel update. Well, as I said last time, the viewership figures eased off for a little bit, and then they just went crazy again. You know, number of new subscribers picked up. Still don't understand really why, and I don't mind. You know, at the end of the day, I enjoy putting these videos out. It's great if I get a good response and some subscribers. No idea what that little temporary plateau in subscribers was. I haven't really been able to figure it out. I have to admit that the YouTube analytics are a little bit of a mystery. There's probably too much information there for someone like me, an amateur YouTuber, to unpack. However, I would say that possibly one of the things that has helped some of my videos most recently is the fact that I bought myself a mini teleprompter. Now, I'm not using it for today's video because I'm pretty much winging this as I go along, but for the slightly more scripted videos, I've got a little teleprompter and I can put my script onto my phone and get it to play on it, and it means I'm looking straight down the camera at people rather than constantly gazing off looking at my notes, and it just helps me get through those scripts a little bit tighter, a little bit quicker. And of course I'm reducing the length of some of my videos, and that seems to go down really well. So trying to keep the videos under 10 minutes instead of just over 10 minutes seems to really work well. So it's something I'm going to keep trying to do. So yeah, definitely recommend getting a teleprompter if you can. Mine was relatively cheap. I got mine for under 30 quid, which was amazing. You know, at the end of the day, it's just a sheet of glass and a black cloth that goes over your camera, and for a little compact like I'm using, more than adequate, and it works perfectly well. Now, in the last video I did promise that I was going to try and do some more battle reports. I just haven't had time. I've been really busy with work. A couple of weekends where I've been working the weekends, so I haven't really been able to get around to them. And then I'm going away towards the end of August, so I'm probably not going to get any done this month, and it's such a pity because I wanted to get some done in August. But I will definitely, I am still determined to try and do some more battle reports because I know they're popular. I enjoy doing them. It means I get a game as well, and I'd like to share some of my collection with you. So I am going to try and do some more. And on to a workbench report. So last month, when I did my video, I mentioned that I was struggling. I was not feeling the mojo when it came to the painting, and I made a promise to you lot that I would get my Berbers finished, and it worked. Just that little bit of self-imposed peer pressure worked a treat, and I did indeed get my Berbers finished. And they're now packed away and ready to be used in the next game. And I've now moved on to some Franco-Prussian War Turcos, which are as close as I can get to the Algerian tirailleurs that I need for my northern Algerian 1900-1905 type period that I've been doing with my French Foreign Legion. I'm sure that the button counters out there will be telling me that the equipment's slightly wrong, but to be honest, on a 15mm figure, when it's painted up, I'm not really going to notice a lot of difference. They're the closest I could get, and they were from Lancashire Games, and nice little models. And the best bit is they are actually a very close match in terms of size to the Blue Moon figures that I bought for the rest of my French Foreign Legion. I did try and get some irregular tirailleurs, but they were, and Zouaves actually, but they were just a little bit too big. They were a couple of millimetres taller and a lot bulkier, and just looked completely wrong next to the Blue Moon figures, whereas these ones from Lancashire Games are a much closer match. So like I say, I'm working on those now. I've got a couple of units of figures that I'm going to paint, and I'm painting up as tirailleurs, and that'll be it. That'll be, for the time being, that's going to be the last of the figures that I'm painting up for my French Foreign Legion Northern Algeria type project. I may well add stuff to it later on, but for the time being I want to draw a line under it because I want to move on to a few other projects. And I've been wanting to get these done, so at least I've got some different units that I can put out on the table, mix them up with some different quality units to put in with me French Foreign Legion, and to create different scenarios. So progressing really well on these. I'm quite enjoying painting them with some interesting colours there, and hopefully I should have them finished, hopefully, cross fingers, before I go away on holiday. Now it's time for a book review, and last month in my last video I did a magazine review, and this time I am doing a book review, but I'm going to do two of them. So actually they're the two books that I used for my French Foreign Legion project, so let me just reach over and grab them. So we have Our Friends Beneath the Sands by Martin Windrow, and Conquest of the Sahara by Douglas Porch. Two really good books. I mean, beautiful writing. The Friends Beneath the Sands covers a lot more than just the period and the location I wanted, but nonetheless the chapters on Algeria and the conquest of Morocco and that, really interesting, beautiful language. I mean, both of these books, you read them and you really get a feel for the period. Very interesting. The geopolitics as well as the military, very interesting, very well described. And this book in particular, really good at describing the climate, the people, the environment that the French Foreign Legion and the Army d'Afrique in general were fighting in, and yeah, just a really interesting look at a period that I didn't know a lot about, to be honest, beyond the Hollywood movies. So I recommend both these books. If you're going to do the same sort of period as me, the French Foreign Legion, sort of like Beaugesty type area between 1900 and the First World War, when the remainder of Algeria come under French control and the conquest of Morocco was beginning. Definitely recommend these two books. Really, really very good. You can get them very easily. I've got these on Amazon, but there's probably second-hand copies as well that you can get your hands on. But definitely recommend those if you want to research the same sort of period. So they're my recommendations for this week's update from the operations room. So that's it for now. I'm away for a couple of weeks. I'm going to North Yorkshire via Blackpool. So a lot of driving in the next couple of weeks. I've got several museums and places of interest that I want to visit. If I can convince the family to accompany me, I'm actually we're going to be meeting up with me daughter and my son-in-law. So we're going to have a nice couple of weeks away, enjoying the beautiful North Yorkshire and the surrounding area. Really looking forward to it. I just hope that the weather is not quite as hot as it has been, but stays dry and nice. Because you know what will happen, as soon as we go away, the heavens will open and it will make up for lost time. So hopefully not. So anyway, in the meantime, I hope you've enjoyed today's videos. Please like, subscribe and share as always. And of course, if you want to keep up to date with my videos, please click the bell notification icon. So that's it for now. So until next time, stay safe, keep gaming, and of course, keep rolling high.